Imagine being able to recall the right idea from the right book at the exact moment when you need it, without having to reread everything repeatedly. That's what happens when you understand how your brain actually learns knowledge and use the right techniques to lock them in. In this video, find out how learning actually happens inside your brain and how you can use that to remember and apply more of what you read this year. We'll break it down into 3 parts. The 3-step process your brain uses to learn anything, why your reading leaks out in 3 ways, and how to patch those leaks using proven learning techniques. First, have you wondered why sometimes you struggle to absorb a new idea or forget the concept within days? It starts with understanding how your brain learns. At a high level, learning follows 3 core phases. Step 1. Encoding. Encoding happens the moment your brain absorbs new information. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't store everything. It selectively chooses what seems important and holds it in the short-term memory, which is like a temporary notepad. If you don't reinforce it, most of the information disappears quickly. Step 2. Consolidation. Once information is encoded, your brain needs to reinforce and store it in the long-term memory. This process is called consolidation. Step 3. Retrieval. Retrieval is the final and most important step. It's what separates temporary learning from permanent knowledge. Every time you retrieve and apply information, you strengthen your brain's neural pathways, making knowledge more accessible when you need it. Most people approach learning the wrong way. They treat the brain like a hard drive, thinking that they can simply save whatever they read, watch, or listen. But as we have seen, that's not how your brain works. The good news is, once you understand the 3 phases of learning, you can fix the most common leaks. Leak 1. Scrambled inputs. Many readers highlight chunks of text or make random notes so nothing stands out. The brain gets overwhelmed and doesn't encode anything useful. A great solution is to use smart annotation using Read in Graphics phase method. Let's imagine you are reading Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit. As you read, annotate using 4 letters. F for framework. Mark concepts associated with Duhigg's habit loop. A for answer. Make a note next to the important concepts, like keystone habits which are critical for habit building because they drive other changes. C for challenge. Mark this next to key problems or questions, like why habits replacement often fail when it matters, and link it back to the corresponding answers. Lastly, mark E for example, including case studies or even scientific research on habits. This forces your brain to process the ideas, provide clear context for encoding, and helps organize and consolidate the ideas later. Which brings us to the next leakage: fragmented ideas. Consolidation is when your brain transfers information into long-term memory. Most readers skip this step completely. They finish a book, feel inspired and move on, and forget most of the ideas within days or weeks. One of the best ways to consolidate book ideas in your brain is to rebuild the ideas in your own words. Review your phase notes and turn them into something coherent. Sketch a simple framework, draw a mind map, or create a 1-page summary. This deepens your understanding and creates strong hooks for your brain to hold on to. Leak number 3. Lack of application. Every retrieval attempt strengthens your neural pathways, but when you never use what you have learned, the pathway fades and the knowledge disappears. When you review an idea, don't just think, I should use this. Ask, where can I apply this today? Each time you apply an idea, even in a tiny way, you strengthen the neural pathway. You can check out this video for 3 steps to translate any book idea into an actionable step in 5 minutes. Can you see how knowing your brain's learning process can lead to better outcomes? But that's not all. If you want to further lock in what you learn, here's another proven method that taps into how your brain learns naturally, and that's multi-modal learning. Your brain naturally learns better when you read actively and engage multiple senses, like reading, listening, writing, imagining, and doing. When you see an idea as a diagram, read it as text, and hear it explained aloud, you activate more regions of your brain. So, how do you apply this in real life? First, build a strong foundation with active reading. Rather than skim through the pages, then forget most of what you read, it's much better to actively engage the content the first time you read it and in from the start. These actions activate more areas of your brain, which helps you to remember the ideas better. Let's deepen the engagement by adding visual learning more deliberately into the mix. When you turn ideas into images, like infographics or mind maps, your brain can absorb more information as a whole. Instead of remembering 20 separate bullet points, you start to see the overall structure, recognize patterns, and chunk ideas into meaningful groups. Instead of relying on words alone, try sketching a rough mind map, drawing arrows or boxes to connect related ideas, or doodling ideas as if you're explaining them to a friend. Just a few minutes of visual reinforcement like this can help the ideas stick. Now, let's layer in audio learning to reinforce and lock in what you've read. Listening taps into your brain's verbal and auditory systems, which are great for reinforcing ideas without additional screen time. Instead of focusing only on what your eyes can take in, here's how to use audio for consolidation. Use whole audiobooks to hear what you're reading, record yourself reading your notes aloud and then replay them the next day, or use audio summaries to refresh key concepts while you're exercising or commuting. Once you understand how your brain learns, you can align your processes to make each phase of the learning process more effortless yet effective. The next time you read a non-fiction book, try fixing the common leaks as you encode, consolidate, and retrieve the insights. And amplify your learning with multi-modal learning. Plug in to read infographics done for you, visual, text, and audio summaries right away, starting with the free summaries linked below.